Mr. Steven Legendre. Also from the men's London Olympic team, Olympic medalist and world medalist, Jonathan Horton. Also a member of the USA Gymnastics Olympic team, Miss Anna Lee. And a member of the Fierce Five that won the Olympic gold medal for Team USA, Miss Kyla Ross. All right. How you guys doing today?
Great.
You ready to go, Steve? Yeah? Good, good. It's a Sunday show, so we have to make sure we're prepared to show these guys the most amazing show they've ever seen. So we have to show them energy. We gotta be like, what's up? So give me that, Steve. What's up?
What's up?
You try that, John. You try it.
What's up?
Yeah. Let me hear yours.
What's up?
Good.
Pop here.
Okay.
What's up?
See, now we're feeling it. Good. Okay, so let's start off just talking about how you got started in gymnastics. Start with Steven, and just tell us why you did gymnastics, how you got into the gym for the first time, and who started with you.
I was 7 years old when I started gymnastics. Both of my older sisters did it, just kind of recreationally for fun. And that's exactly how I started as well, just getting rid of some energy and just basically having a good time with it, and just stuck with it, and here I am.
You said how old were you?
I was 7 when I started.
Told John he's gonna be sick of this story by the end of our
I love this
40
story.
city tour, but
I hear it every scene, but I love it. It's funny.
so I was 4 years old when I got my start, and I got my start in a Target. My mom, she's this little bitty lady. She's 4'7", and I was her little bitty son, and she always knew her number one rule was you can't take me anywhere and take your eyes off of me. Well, she's doing some shopping in this Target, and she turns around to look at something, and she broke her number one rule. I took off. I was running around doing my own thing, and like I said, she's this 4'7" little firecracker of a lady, and she freaks out over everything. And 10 minutes later, she has this entire store searching for her 4-year-old son. Finally, the manager spots me and comes up to her and says, "Ma'am, you can calm down now. I found your son." And he looks straight up. Apparently, there was a pole in the middle of the store that I had wrapped my arms and legs around and climbed 25 feet to the ceiling. So she didn't calm down. And he was like, "Well, he got up there. Maybe we just ask him if he'll come down on his own." And so I did. I slid down like it was no big deal. My mom went home that day, told my dad there was something wrong with me, and they enrolled me the next day in gymnastics.
I like when you say you were a freak.
Yeah. I mean, she said I was a freak.
Yeah,
but
I like that part. Yeah. All right. Yeah.
The first time I was in the gym, I was 17 days old. My
Wow.
parents were both in the Olympics in 1984 for gymnastics, so I mean, I went straight to the gym when I was a baby, but I probably started training when I was about 4 years old.
So your parents were both in '84?
Yeah, my parents both competed in the 1984 Olympics, which was in Los Angeles.
Yeah, in gymnastics.
Yes, in gymnastics.
I didn't even know that. That's cool. Learn something new every day.
I started gymnastics when I was about 3 years old. Like a lot of the other girls, my parents put me in gymnastics because I had a lot of energy and I just like climb everywhere and I'd be doing cartwheels around the house. So they just sort of put me in it and I've stuck with it ever since.
Very cool. So, yeah, clap. No, you. Yeah, clap. Yeah. So you guys, a lot of these kids are juggling gymnastics, and as you get better at gymnastics, you have to juggle school, and you do more gymnastics. Some of you work out 5-6 hours a day. Talk about how you juggle all the things in your life, including school, and then like everyone's different. Horton, you're married, you're gonna have a family, you're gonna go for another Olympics. So how do you juggle all those things?
Well, it's definitely tough, especially when you're your age, because there's so many things going on. For me, I'm an old man, so now I just do gymnastics all day. I don't have to go to school, but it was hard when I was younger. I had to go to school, then I had to go to the gym, then I had to go home and do homework. And to be completely honest with you, it's something that never really gets easier, but you get better at it. You have to really try hard. You have to focus on your schoolwork and be very disciplined about how organized you are with your time. And for me, you know, I knew my daily schedule. I was going to wake up, I was going to go to school, I was going to finish school, I was going to make a list of all the things I had to do for homework that night, and then I'd go to the gym, I'd get home, I knew exactly what needed to be done. Then I could get it done as fast as possible and then hang out with my friends. So you just get better as you get older, and you know, it's tough, but you have to be disciplined with it.
Well, gymnastics in school has always been something that's been a little bit challenging for a lot of people to handle. So, I mean, for me, I still try to go to public school. So I do a few classes at my high school. So I go to school about 3 days a week, and then I train normal after that. But then the days that I aren't going to school, I usually do like my online school, and then I train in the gym more early and a little bit more hours on those days.
I stayed in public school the entire time, and then I went to college at UCLA, but I think that being really disciplined, like Horton said, was really important with knowing what you had to get done. As for training, because you're in the gym training the whole day pretty much after school. So after school, we pretty much just did all of our homework right away, and then I went to sleep as soon as possible because we had to redo the whole schedule where it was school, gym, and homework. So I was really disciplined about that.
Yeah, I mean, they've kind of said it. It's just a matter of determination and pushing yourself. I know, especially when I was younger and even through my 4 years in college, sometimes you just feel like it's too much and you can't handle what's on your plate and everything like that. But you just kind of have to sleep on it and wake up the next day and be like, no, I'm going to get through this. I'm going to keep pushing. And in the end, you'll be obviously really happy you did, because once you've accomplished something that you didn't think you could, it's a really good feeling.
So when kids always ask, what's the hardest skill you do? But what I want to know is, what was the hardest skill, the hardest skill to learn? So as you're younger, like, there's easy skills like kips and back handsprings, but some people have a hard time with a lot. Like for me, it took me a while to learn my back handspring. I remember in open gym, I'd just do round off over and over again. And then I remember the day I got my back handspring, and it was like, now I can actually do something, you know, so I could be with everybody else and actually do a flip. Do you guys remember a skill that was real easy, like a kip or something that you had a lot of trouble with?
Yeah, I think I was 8 years old or something like that. I went to a pretty small gym when I was younger, and our high bar was actually set up maybe 10 feet away from the back wall in the gym. And I had been working on front giants forever, and it took me so long to get it. I would always get to the handstand and not make it over. So it was like a nighttime practice. I finally made my first front giant, and I was getting the hang of it. And I was so excited. And my mom came to the gym at like, I think 10 o'clock at night or something like that. And of course I was, you know, just like pumped up. I was like, Ma, check this out, check this out. So I jump up and I do like 3 front giants, and on the 4th one, I peeled off in the back and I flew up and I smashed into the wall, and I just like, kind of like a cartoon, I just hit the wall and I slid down like right to my head. So that was kind of like an easy skill. Well, it's not necessarily an easy skill, but looking back. So yeah, it took me a while to get it, and then I had a little bit of a rough go when I did get it too, so.
Oh, by the way, he still can't do a back handspring.
No, I'm gonna try it tonight though.
For me, you know, there's a few skills that you have to learn on high bar after you learn a giant. You just have to learn them, and one of them is called a stalder. And you straddle your legs, bring your legs in, and then you bring them back out. And my coach told me, you can't learn anything else until you learn a stalder. It's required, you gotta get it. It took me 3 years to learn a stalder. It was absolutely ridiculous. I'm not very flexible, and I just could not figure it out, and it drove me crazy. But finally got it, and now I still compete it today.
The skill that I struggled the most with was a blind change. I had real big fear issues with that one skill, which is really weird. I don't know why. But it took me probably almost 4 years to do it by myself, and we had all the coaches in the gym there standing for me, mats set up on every side of the bar when I was younger, and it took a long time for me to finally be able to do it.
The skill, like, that was most challenging for me when I was little, I think used to be a back handspring on beam. It was one of those skills that moving from the low beam to the high beam is always really difficult for a lot of little girls. So I remember I used to always like stack the mats up all the way to the beam and just like move one by one until I finally got to the floor. So it took me like a year or so to actually get in and not be too afraid of it. So that was something I struggled with when I was little, but now it's simple.
So let's talk about some other sports. Have you guys done any other sports other than gymnastics? Do you like to do anything else? Like if you weren't doing gymnastics, what would you do?
I played baseball when I was little. On my first base hit ever, I tripped over first base and took a face plant. But my dad was so proud of me, he took me out to dinner anyway. And then I guess from like 7th grade to 9th grade, I wrestled for a few years. So yeah, I guess if I didn't do gymnastics, I'd be wrestling because I was pretty decent at that. So.
Never really tried any other sports, like on a team or anything like that. I've played like football out in the field with my buddies a few times, but I always get tackled and don't want to get back up because they're all bigger than me. That's about it. I guess if I wasn't a gymnast, I'd probably do some other kind of extreme sport. Like I really like snowboarding and skiing, so maybe like next Shaun White or something. I don't know.
Like John said, I've never really played on another club sport. I've always sort of done gymnastics, so I don't think I'm really good with any sort of like sport with any balls or anything, so I'm not that coordinated with that kind of stuff, so I usually just stick to gymnastics.
I only did gymnastics my entire life, but I really like volleyball and tennis. And besides that, I've played a whole bunch of other sports just growing up at school. And I was a goalie in soccer most of the times, and I blocked a ball with my face once.
Wow.
But it didn't go in.
Stopped it. Okay, I'm going to ask some of the questions people have texted in here. In the show, you had to learn choreography. Was it hard to learn, and did anyone's dance skills stand out?
I'm the worst dancer on this tour, and yes, it was extremely difficult. And yeah, now everyone's gonna watch me tonight. So. I shot myself in the foot. Yeah, actually, our Chung, I'm not sure what his official position is, but he always jokes around and says we have our stage manager. He always says we have 2 left feet because we all kind of stink at dancing, but it's okay. We still have fun, and it's a good time.
They look pretty good out there.
You guys did good.
Don't say we all stink at dancing.
Yeah. Horton,
You doesn't mean all of us.
Horton practices in the mirror a lot. Okay?
I do.
He doesn't
I'll
stink.
admit. No, dancing is really hard, and I'm not saying I'm good by any means. We're all really stiff when we do gymnastics. So the girls are really good. You'll be impressed by them. That's why we're in the back when we're doing the numbers. But it was really hard. We put a lot of time into the dance. We brought in a professional choreographer, Jermaine Brown, who is in a bunch of numbers himself. And he put us through the ringer with trying to learn this stuff. And I'd say even though Steve isn't the best dancer, he doesn't look bad. He looks pretty good while he's doing it because we put a lot of effort into it. So.
Yeah, we practiced a lot, and I felt like it was pretty much preparing for like a competition where you practice over and over and over again so that you're prepared for the show. So everyone looks pretty good now, and we've got it down.
Yeah, I think learning the dances was a lot of fun. It's definitely something that's a little bit different than gymnastics. It was fun to learn something new and to be able to practice it a lot. Like they said, we practiced a lot, and now it's a lot of fun to perform for all you guys. So I hope you like all our dances tonight.
All right. Okay, this next question. What is up with John Horton's hair? I just read the question. I just read the question.
Is it not awesome?
Well, tell us who your hairdresser is.
No, so what was it, like 3 or 4 days ago? Chris Brooks, my roommate, was like, dude, we should just shave the side of your head and not cut anything else. And I was like, all right. I didn't even think twice about it, and you should see his hair. Because he cut mine and then was like, that's awesome, I'm doing it to myself. So he cut his own hair, and his looks way more ridiculous than mine.
I think it looks good, man. I'm just reading the question.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. Okay. Do you get mental blocks on tumbling, and if so, what do you do to get past them?
Yeah, I don't get mental blocks on tumbling as much as I do on some other stuff. sometimes I don't trust my air awareness, so I have to like do something in the pit once or twice just to make sure I know what my body's going to decide to do. For example, on vault, I used to compete a handspring double front, and before I actually started to learn to do the half out at the end, my body would sometimes decide that it wanted to try it anyway, and it was usually at some of the worst times, like on hard landing and competition landing and stuff like that. So, but to get over it, it's just numbers. I mean, you have to just kind of really focus on your turns and force yourself to push through the mental issue, and once you push through and do a bunch of numbers, it kind of just becomes natural.
No, but I am going to talk a little more about your double front on vault. He's telling me to tell you guys about how I can't do a layout on floor. I really can't. I can't do a back layout. I've got this mental block where I have to twist, but I've kind of embraced it now, and I don't even try to do a layout anymore. It's probably bad advice. But no, more on his story. I'll never forget. He was a freshman when I was a senior, and he comes in, and we know Steve Legendre. He's this ridiculously powerful freshman at Oklahoma. And he's going to show us all this crazy stuff, and it's like the first week he's there. And he runs down the runway full speed and goes handspring double front. And for some reason in the middle of it, he like comes out of his double front, looks like a cat thrown in the air, and like lands right on his head. Pretty close to landing on your head. No, you landed on your head. And I'm looking at him like our freshman just died. So he spent a lot of time like trying to fix that mental block, and it was pretty entertaining. But no, I have to agree with what he said. Kind of take a step back when you have that mental block, do some stuff into the pit, work on your basics, and you can usually break through that barrier, I guess.
I think it helps if you build up your confidence and trust in yourself and your coaches when you do your skills, especially if you're nervous or have mental blocks or you have fear. So I think if you trust everyone and trust yourself and know that you can do it, you'll be able to do it.
I mean, there's not really much to add to that. Like they said, you always have to trust yourself. So every time you go into a skill, even if you're nervous for it, you always got to go your hardest and trust that you can do it, especially if you've done it over and over again.
Okay, this next question is for Kyla. What was more stressful, the Olympic trials or the Olympics?
That's a good question. I mean, I think the Olympic trials are a little bit stressful because you weren't sure if you're going to make the team. So you're just sort of going out there and competing and giving it your all because you had no other choice. So it was either you make it or you don't. So I think it was a little bit nerve-wracking, a little bit more than the Olympics. But I think when we went out to the Olympics, we weren't that nervous. We were just going out there to compete because we've been training so long for this, and I think that's what helped us win the gold.
Yeah. Do any of you watch Make It or Break It?
I was in it as a stunt person when I lived in LA and after UCLA. So I've been in the show and I've seen a couple episodes. I actually didn't even watch the episode that I was in, but I saw people telling me that they saw me on it. So I have seen a couple of them and I know all the girls that are on the show.
I don't watch it. Me neither.
I have to admit, I don't really watch Make It or Break It.
We need to get Brooks out here. Brooks watches it religiously.
It's his favorite.
Chris Brooks, he knows all the characters. He knows every episode. I make fun of him a lot.
All right, throughout your gymnastics career, what has been the most challenging thing for you to work through mentally?
I'll start because that's an easy one for me. Frustration. I am very competitive. I'm a perfectionist, and I am still constantly trying to fight how frustrated I get when I can't do something. Even when John makes fun of me because I can't stick my dismount high bar in any of the shows.
Let's see if you do it tonight.
You owe me $2 if I stick it.
I know, because you owe me $1 for last night.
True.
Didn't stick
I
it.
owe him like $5 already. But anyways, yeah. So I've always been one of those guys that if I can't get something right, I get a little upset about it. And honestly, that kind of sets me back. The more mad I get, the harder it is to train. So I had to learn over time to overcome that and have more productive workouts by just staying calm and realizing that over the long haul, I'm going to get whatever I'm working on.
I think my biggest thing I had to overcome was when I was younger, probably 12 to 14 or 15. I was kind of lazy, to be honest. I didn't really want to be in the gym working that hard, and I didn't take gymnastics that seriously. So when I was 16, I kind of had to make a decision whether or not I was really going to do it as a serious thing and really try and be as best as I could be. So that was just, for me, it was kind of like a breaking point where I really had to just decide that it was what I wanted to do. And so yeah, I'm obviously glad I did, but it was definitely a tough decision for me.
I think a hard part of the sport is dealing with injuries and being out for a while and getting back in. But on the bright side, I literally just thought of how you can work on your weaknesses while you're out. So I've had screws put in both of my feet, so if I couldn't use my foot, I was doing everything in the gym that I could without my foot. So I got stronger, I got more flexible, and so by the time I could use my foot, then gymnastics was way easier.
I think one of the hardest parts or sort of things to overcome in gymnastics, I think, is learning new skills. Learning new skills is always difficult because you've never done it before. So I think a lot of gymnasts get a little bit scared before they try their skills. So I think whenever you go up for a new skill, you always just got to be confident and trust your coach and just visualize what you're going to do.
All right, so we have a lot of young gymnasts in the audience, and some of them might not be gymnasts, they might be doing another sport. But give them one piece of advice or a quote from a coach or a story that really helps you in your life. It doesn't have to pertain to gymnastics, but it can. That can help these guys with whatever they want to do, in the gym or out of the gym.
I would just say, especially when you're younger, I know I was this way when I was young. I always felt like I knew the answer to everything, and I knew the best way to do everything in the gym and outside the gym. And now looking back on it, being a little older, I realized that I was definitely off on a lot of that. So I would just say, as like a young athlete and also just a young person in general, just trust what your elders and your coaches are telling you, because you'll probably realize years down the road that it's the right thing. So just trust what you're hearing.
I'd say, do you want to go? Oh. One of the best pieces of advice I get all the time is from my own coach. He tells me at every competition I go to, even in workout, don't compromise. Be yourself. Don't look at the other gymnasts and try to be like them. Do what has worked for me. And, just have a good time with what I'm doing. Because sometimes, you get into a competition, you see how other people are warming up or how they're training, and you think, okay, I got to be like them. Do what works for you every day in the gym. And just go out there and have a good time with wherever you're at, whether you're competition, championships, JO Nationals, doesn't matter what it is. Don't compromise who you are.
I think some advice for gymnasts and anyone in any other sports would be every day you go into practice, you always got to work your hardest and always sacrifice what you need to. So some days you might not be able to go to the movies or go out with your friends, but you always got to dedicate yourself to your sport and to always work your hardest and have a lot of fun while you're doing it too.
What helped me with my comeback into the elite world after NCAAs and I was out of gymnastics for a while was my college coaches telling me to live my life with no regrets. And so I remember just sitting there one day and it kept on coming up to my mind, like, I really think I could do it again. I think I can do elite again. So I didn't want that thought to be in my head the whole time. And one of the quotes I remember she told me was, what hurts more, the pain of discipline or the pain of regret, or the pain of failure or the pain of regret? And I remember, I didn't want to have any regrets. I was going to go out and do everything I could to try to be the best that I could be. And no matter what the outcome was, I knew that I did my absolute best. So.
All right. You already went, Kyla? Yeah, sorry, thank. All right, we're going to really quick do rapid fire questions, easy questions. We'll start with Steven all the way down. Favorite color?
Red.
Blue.
Blue. Purple.
Favorite food?
Lasagna.
Pizza. What pizza again? Or both of them?
Sushi.
Favorite flavored ice cream?
With the
Cake
cookie
batter.
dough, cookie dough.
I said cake batter.
No, I'm not cake batter. No, pralines and cream.
Wow, old school.
I think cookies and cream.
Nice. Favorite event?
High bar.
Yeah, favorite event. Yeah.
Floor.
Uneven bars.
Probably uneven bars.
Least favorite event? Pommel.
Vault.
Rings.
Probably floor.
All right, last question. Scariest skill you do? Scariest.
There's so many of them. A full twisting front 1 3/4 on floor. You like roll out of it. It's really scary.
Just a Coleman on high bar. A Coleman is a full twisting double back over the bar on high bar, and it's where you catch again. But it's one of those head things that we talked about earlier. I don't like doing it.
Maybe double doubles off bars because like the double layout's fine, but sometimes I try to add an extra twist, and a couple times I've done triple double. So I guess the timing of the twisting I add a little more. It's a
How
little,
did the triple double go?
You know what? It worked out, but it
Yeah.
wasn't right.
I mean, when I was learning Shapash Half, that was always a skill that was really hard for me. If you don't know, it's like I do the toe on, so you like toe on up to the high bar and with a half twist. So it was always a skill that was really hard at first, but now I'm not too scared of it. But it was pretty hard.
Awesome. All right, give the athletes a big round of applause. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. Thank you guys for coming to the AT&T Chalk Talk. And we're looking forward to the show. We'll see you guys in about an hour. And get ready for a good show. Thank you guys so much.